Good morning from Big Sky Country. I'm Stacy, owner of Montana Used Bricks. And today I'm going to do something a little bit different. I'm going to show you some of the searches and filters that I use on Bricklink to help manage my inventory or to look up items so that I can see what they are so I can get them into stock. I'm not going to be showing you how to do searches and stuff on Brickstore. I'm just focusing on Bricklink today. I do a lot of searching on Bricklink, especially for pattern parts. My husband and I have found a way to look up pattern parts fairly quickly. In Brickstore, you have to scroll down to find what you're looking for, and this way it limits the search so it's a little bit easier. And as always, every store does things differently. This is just some of the searches and filters that I use. Stores may not even use these. Some stores may have a whole bunch of elaborate searches and filters that they use, and if you do, I would really like to hear about those, so go ahead and put that in the comments. Like I said, I'm just going to show you some stuff that I use. Some of it I use rarely, some of it I use almost daily. It's just some of the stuff I use. It's to give you an idea of what you can do with Bricklink besides just put your inventory into it. So let's get on with it, and I'll show you just a small sampling of some of the stuff we do with Bricklink. The first thing I'm going to show you is how to search for pattern parts, and I use this quite a bit when it's a part that maybe I haven't had in my store before and I'm not sure what the part number is. What I will do is I will come up and look for the part. I will put in the color of the part, what it is, and then I'm going to put that the 1x1 brick I'm looking for has an eye on it, and then I'm going to do a search. And this brings up just the pattern parts that come in yellow that have the eye on it, and then I can pick which one I want to put into inventory. Basically what I'll do is just look at this number and then I'll type this number into Brickstock. Another way to do this is if you have a part that is a sticker, you can limit to just stickers. So if you had a red 1x3 brick with a sticker on it, you could search that way, and that'll just bring up the 1x3 bricks that have stickers. It won't bring up the pattern or the printed parts. So that's something that we use quite a bit to kind of limit our search on what we're looking for. Because if you just put in 1x3 brick with pattern, you're going to end up with a lot more. So it's just a way to limit your search. One that my husband uses quite a bit when he's looking for minifigure heads is he will come over to Market, click on Parts, and he'll click on the minifigure head modified, and he'll bring it up as thumbnail gallery so that he can see what he's looking for. He can even limit this. He can put it to just Star Wars minifigure modified heads, and that'll bring up just the Star Wars ones. He can also put it in so that it's by year release date, if you happen to have an idea of what year those modified heads came out. So this is a pretty good way to look for parts as well, because the more you can narrow down your search, the easier it is. So another one that we use, not very often, but occasionally will be, let's say at Walmart, and we'll notice there's a couple of sets that are on sale, and we want to see if it would be worth buying and parting out. We will come over to the price guide. We'll pick this part out value. We'll enter the part number, and then we'll get the value. And this shows us that this set, if you part it out, you'll get $37. So if it was on sale for $25, this would probably be a pretty good value to part out. It also tells you the current price. If you are one of the stores that use the current average price, you could go by that. It will also tell you what you have in your store right now for this set and if you sold what you have in your store, what that cost would be. So we do use this occasionally. We don't use it all the time. It's hard for us to find sales in our small town. We were looking at Walmart this morning and there was nothing. In fact, they have a lot of gaps on their shelf where the Lego are, so I think they're still waiting for their Christmas inventory to come in. One of the things that I like to do, and this is just purely for fun, just something fun to do to see where your store is compared to other stores, you can come up to Market, go to Stores in the USA. This will show you all the stores by state. So Montana is quite a ways down. So there's Montana, and you can see all the stores that currently are in Montana. There's actually a lot more than there used to be. When I first started, there was maybe 5 or 6 stores in Montana, and now there's a lot more. I think there's even another store in the town that I live in, but I can't remember which one of those it is because I've ordered from him. The other thing I like to do is I come back up to the top and go to Find Stores. And I actually learned this trick from a very early video that Bricks on the Dollar had done. He was showing how he could see how his store was rated compared to other stores in the US. So if you sort it by number of lots and items and hit US, it will show you all the stores by lot count. And my store currently is at 102 out of 4,000 stores. So that's actually pretty good. If we do it by number of items in the US and show stores, trying to remember where my store is. Okay, so my store is quite low because we really don't have a lot of total parts. We only have the 100,000 and 500. So we're close to being 500, the 500th store out of 4,000, which is still pretty good. The one thing I have noticed though over the years is this was pretty close to 4,000 before Lego bought out Bricklink, and then this went way down after the buyout. A lot of stores were closed down because they weren't selling just Lego parts. They had customized parts or things that they had created that have to do with Lego, and they were shut down. There was quite a few stores that said that they weren't going to be part of Bricklink if it was owned by Lego, so they left to go to Brickowl or some other website. This has definitely come up a lot in the last 2 or 3 years. So there's a lot more stores than there used to be. So that's just something fun I kind of look up every now and then just to see, like I said, how I'm doing compared to other stores. And a lot of times too is once I find my store on the list, sometimes I will check the stores like above me or below me to see how they're doing, see what their terms and conditions are, just to see how I compare to those stores and to maybe give me some ideas on things to change in my store. Under my inventory, there's a lot that you can do with this, and I use this quite a bit for especially the search my inventory area. A lot of times we'll use the remarks to bring up a specific drawer, and this will show us everything that's in that drawer. And we'll do this a lot, especially if it's an empty drawer. We'll take out the remarks so that we know that that drawer is now empty. The other thing you can do is you can do it by part of the field name. We have a lot of boxes. If I wanted to see what parts were in box 1, I could click that, and then I have it right now as a quantity count. So it's going to show me the ones that have the most quantity going down. But if I wanted to see what was in each slot, I would do remarks up and go. And this will show me what's in each of the slots. So it's also a good way to double check your inventory. Another one that I use quite a bit is after I have uploaded parts into inventory, I want to check to see if any of those items are on my wanted list. I don't want to include like stockroom A items, so I'm going to exclude stockroom items, and then I'm going to click items on my wanted list, and then I'll hit go. And if there were any that was in my inventory at the time, they would show up here. So I could take them out of my inventory and then take them off of my wanted list. Another one that I use after I've uploaded to my inventory is I look to see if any are missing my cost. I do use this field. I know a lot of stores don't, but I like to use this field to give me a general idea of how much I have in inventory. So I would hit missing my cost and go, and then it would give me a list of items that didn't have any cost in them. And that's also a good time for me to make sure that they also have the remarks, because if they're new, they won't have my cost, and I want to make sure that I also have the remarks in there. And you can search by missing remarks, but I believe right now that's stuff that we have in the various stock rooms. So you can see that these are all 0, and we just don't have a place for them since they're 0. So within this search my inventory, there's a lot that you can do. You'll notice that there's all these options here of things you can look for. There's also, you can look for items that are on sale. You can look for items that have been in your store for a while. You can look for items that were last sold. So if I wanted to look to see what I sold in the last 5 days, I can do 5 days or newer, come up to go, and this will show me all the parts that we sold within the last 5 days. Below that, there's also, if you want to see minimum quantity, maximum quantity, or you were looking for parts or sets within a specific price range, or if you had bulk items, there's a lot you can do with just this area of my inventory to find different things. It's fun to just go through here and see what comes up under these different categories of searches and filters so that you get used to using it. Another one that I occasionally use is this by color, because if I have an unusual color such as the blue violet and I'm second guessing myself on if the part is blue violet or not, I can come over here and look to see if we have any in stock, and I can grab that out of the drawer and then match it to what I'm holding in my hand and say, yeah, that really is blue violet. So I use this on occasion to make sure that I'm getting the right colors, since some of them are really rare and you don't see them that often. I just want to make sure that I'm getting it to the right place. I mentioned before about my cost. This is where I'm able to see what my cost of inventory is at the moment, also what I'm selling it for. And then I can also see how many parts we have total in all 3 of these categories. We use Stockroom C for items that we're not ready to sell, or we're waiting until the price increases, or might be some of the minifigure body parts that my husband is working on and he's not ready to put them into inventory, but he wants to be able to still see what he has. So he'll use Stockroom C. So in Stockroom A, I think these 15 parts are most likely my husband's, but if I wanted to double check, I could come to Stockroom A. I would sort by quantity, and then I would go down and go. And this is going to show me that he currently has these in his stockroom. And he cracks me up. He put beer as one of the remarks. So he could remember that those are ones that he still needed to double check before he actually put them into inventory. If he wanted to put these heads into inventory, he would just come over and click this stockroom A and then hit submit, and that would move it to our inventory to be ready to sell. The one other search I do in my inventory quite a bit is I will come over, if I have a pattern part or a sticker part that I know I already have in stock, what I will do is I will look up the part number and then I'll put a P, and then I'll put an asterisk and search. And this is going to show me all the 2x4 bricks that we currently have in stock. So what I will do is I will sort by condition, color name, item name, and comments. I'll go down so that the used parts are at the top of my list, and then I will hit go. So once they're sorted by color, which makes it a little bit easier. I can just sort down to the color that I'm looking for and see if we've already had that part in stock, and then I can look up the number that way. So those are just a few of the different searches and filters that I use, like I said, on a daily basis and occasionally in our store. It is fun to go in because there is so much you can do on the sorting within Bricklink to look for what you need. So if you have time, I suggest you go in and play with the searches and filters and see what all is out there, because there may be something that will be very useful for you in your store just to make the management of inventory easier. So I hope you enjoyed this video. If you did, go ahead and give it that thumbs up. If you really liked it, go ahead and hit that subscribe button, and I will see you in the next video. Bye.